Hello, hello, it's Rachel. I have hamsters, and it's been a couple weeks, but I'm back with quite a few updates. It's been like a really insane time for me at work, and the hamsters have been busy, and I'm like, I don't really have time to do an update, but then I feel like if I don't, more things are going to happen, and I'm just going to struggle to keep up. That's what always happens. So what happened since last time? Well, February has come and gone. I did a little kissing booth, playpen. I had a kissing booth from one of my friends, Cindy, who makes all those really cute hamster sets. She used to sell them on Etsy. She's taken a break from selling them, but I have this really adorable little kissing booth that I either purchased from her or maybe she gifted it to me. So I made a playpen that was all like pops of red and sort of naturals, and then that little kissing booth. And it is surprisingly hard to get hamsters to like pose with things, like even with food. I feel like I only have like one or two hamsters who are like really good about like doing that exact right thing where you like, they're up on their paws, they're eating the snack, you get the good photo. Dexter is really great at it. He's my dwarf hamster that is like extremely outgoing. And then I have a little robo named Peggy, and she's very outgoing also. She's also very fast, but she does do some good photos for me, so that is great. I also grew some cat grass, also known as wheatgrass. I used a Pet Greens. You can buy them at Amazon, or I think I first discovered them on the Small Pet Select website. They sell little packets that you can grow the grass directly in, although I grew the grass in some coconut fiber, loose coconut fiber, and in like an old candle container. And it looked really cute in the playpen. And finally, I grew something that the hamsters were excited about, and everybody nibbled on it and dug in it. I will say my old hamsters, I mean like Steven in particular, God, Steven was the best hamster. He loved cat grass. He would like dig in it and go crazy. And he had this like super white little face, and he would get all dirty. He was the best. God, I miss him. Anyway, so that was good. So if you're looking for something fun to grow for your hamsters that I guarantee they will like, cat grass never goes wrong. You can buy it pre-grown at Petco. They sell it like near the counter. Or you can grow it at home. It's pretty cheap and easy, and you can usually keep it alive for like at least a few weeks. I still have it alive. It looks like just kind of like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to make it last longer. Right now it's just sort of like wilted, but I'll let you know if I figure out some secrets there. So in other news, I'm getting to know Dexter more. He is the dwarf hamster that I got from someone. It was like through someone, but it was a volunteer who worked at the Humane Society, and she got moved to an assisted living facility and couldn't bring him with her. And then so he went into someone else's care, who went into someone else's care, and eventually made it to me. And he had a sibling who unfortunately died somewhere along that lines, they lived together. I don't know if he attacked him or if their care wasn't good. No idea. But Dexter is so outgoing. Honestly, it's like hard to walk away because he constantly comes out and he looks for me and he runs back and forth, and I bring him out. It seems like he's ready to go home, but then he's like on his little back paws again looking for me. I feel like I have to go away for work soon, and like my biggest concern is leaving Dexter. Like I feel like for the most part hamsters are great because I can just feed them, and if I'm gone for like a day, it's okay. But Dexter, I'm like, I don't know if I can leave him for a day. He needs too much. Yeah, so it's really fun to have a hamster who's like so insatiable again. I think I always like want like one hamster like this, just someone who like really wants interaction. It's kind of a dream. And then in other news, I did you may have seen this on my website or on Instagram. I did upgrade Fred and Miles. So Fred and Miles were my two hamsters. One is a dwarf hamster, one is a robo. They both came from Pet Supplies Plus, and they had both been there about a year. I think Fred had been there maybe over a year, and Miles maybe a little bit under a year. I put them in like very simple bin cages to start. And usually what I do with a new hamster is I just like start super simple, like here's some bedding, here's a hide, here's a wheel, here's some water, here's lots of food. And I just let them settle in, and I don't try to like overstimulate them or overstress them, just kind of like let them relax, especially if they've come from an overstimulated place or like an overstressful place, if they were living with other hamsters or if they were living in a very small space. And then I like don't really touch them. And then slowly I add in more things. And I guess I start simple for a few reasons, just to like kind of make sure that they are able to access everything and make sure they don't have any medical issues. Sometimes you don't realize that a hamster isn't good at climbing or can't reach their water or whatever their funky thing is. Some hamsters just like won't use a water bottle. Maurice is like that. He only drinks from a bowl. So this is my way of being able to get to see them, because if you put them in a cage that is like too cluttered right away, you might not be able to see them, and if there's a problem, you can't tell. I actually had that issue with Stan. He's one of my robos. I put him in like a fully set up cage when I got him, and then I didn't see him for like a week, and I actually dug him out because I was like, did he die? I have no idea. And he was fine, but it was a concern. Even with the camera, I mean, there was so much stuff in there, and he was so nervous that like he just didn't come out and managed to like evade any watchful eye for a while. I don't even know how he was drinking water, if he was. So, and Stan's gotten better, so don't worry, that problem has improved. But, so I start really simple and then I upgrade it. But so they had been in their really simple bins for like a month. So then I upgraded them both. They both got 7-inch platforms. So I put their wheels on top of the platform. It gives them a little bit more space to roam around in. And Fred is living life. Interesting thing with Miles, now that he's coming out more and I'm seeing him more, he is spinning. So I'm going to come back to that because that has been a thing that I've had to deal with. Another thing I did with this upgrade is I glued a bunch of moss on the bendy bridges, and I became so obsessed with it, I glued moss on like everything. Like all my hamsters got a moss upgrade. The whole thing with moss, if you've seen people glue moss on their bendy bridges, it does actually serve a purpose. A lot of bendy bridges have like gaps in between the rungs, and those are really dangerous for hamsters. They can get their tiny toenails or tiny toes stuck in there, and then like they'll get really freaked out and chew off their foot or like break their foot trying to release it. So you want to be really careful with stuff like that. So if you have a bridge that has like any gaps in it, get out your hot glue gun and glue as much moss in those gaps as you can. Just make sure you get non-toxic hot glue. I remember being really nervous that my hamsters were going to chew on the glue. I have never seen a hamster chew on it. Maybe Syrian hamsters might, but like my hamsters don't. So don't worry. Just make sure it's non-toxic. If they do chew on it, it's not going to kill them. And it'd be really hard for them to get to because it's like in between the rungs anyway. And you just need some loose sphagnum moss that you can get at the pet store or online. I'll leave links to all that below or on my website. I've already done a post about it, I think. If I hadn't, maybe I haven't. It's been a while. I've been really busy. So I went crazy. I put moss on all of my bendy bridges, and then I like took it a step further. I started putting moss on a lot of the hides, and I have to say my hamster cages look a lot better. They're just like really bright and green and so gorgeous. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do when I have to clean these items. Like usually I disinfect them by baking them at the end of a hamster's life. So we'll get to that when it comes. But anyway, I'm really happy with how my hamster cages look. So I did go in a little bit of a flurry there for a bit. Fred, the dwarf hamster, so I have these two. Fred is the dwarf and Miles is the robo that came from Pet Supplies Plus. They were both $5. Fred, I did not have a water bottle for him. So at first I just was giving him a bowl, but he's like a really big hamster and he was drinking like a bowl every night almost of water. So I wanted to give him a backup just in case, like if I went out of town for a night, whatever. And I I decided to go a different route, and I purchased the Bukastat cactus water bottle, and I could not be happier. It is so cute. I'm like obsessed with it. I did do a post on this on Instagram and on my website, so you can check that out if you want to see more photos. You know, I wasn't like a super fan of the cactus thing because I always was going for like a woodland kind of woodland fairy theme, gentle woodland fairy theme in my hamster cages. So like little mushrooms or like little bugs, berries, you know, that kind of thing. But this cactus, it's green, so fits into the theme. And, you know, I figured, okay, what the hell? Why not just try it? So I tried it and it looks so cute. And it's like a really nice water bottle. I feel like the water bottle is really high quality. Fred loves it. He drinks out of it now more than the bowl. I feel like the height is good. It's just, I'm very happy with it overall. You know, I have all my other water bottles are either the Night Angel one or I have some like cheapy ones from Petco and like a nice ceramic stand that I got from a place on Etsy called, what is it? Something Drizzles. Okay, now I'm forgetting. It's an Etsy shop, and they have these nice ceramic bases for water bottles. But yeah, this one I think is my favorite. Like the Night Angel one is nice because it's adjustable, but it's not exactly like cute. It's just, it is a functional water bottle. This one is like just really cute, and it's ceramic and it's nice and heavy. Yeah, I just feel like overall, you know, I rarely feel excited about a water bottle, but I do now. So highly recommend. And then, yeah, so Fred is doing well. Fred, I've taken him out of the cage a few times now in the playpen. He's done well. So far he hasn't bitten. I haven't really held him, but I pet him. I let him sniff me. He's very gentle. He's been coming out more to run. He's generally kind of shy, but he's not like crazy shy. Like he doesn't run away when he sees me. He just kind of is like, oh, you. I guess it's you again. Yeah, so kind of, you know, somewhere in between. I think if I worked with him a little bit, you know, maybe I'd get him a little bit more comfortable with me. But one thing that is really interesting about him, he's a big chewer. So I gave him some chews. Like usually my hamsters don't really chew other than on whimsies. And even at that, it's like a stretch. So, you know, when they pass away, I disinfect everything, I bake it. And I have this one chew. I think I got it from Happy. Why am I forgetting the name of everything right now? Another Etsy shop. I got it from another Etsy shop. It's like a bunch of different things. It's like it's wooden juice soaked beads on a string, and then it has like kind of a willowy thing, like a star that's sort of made of woven grass. I put it in there. I think I had it from 2021, maybe even, and I've had nobody really pays attention to it. But I gave it to Fred, and he just like ripped it apart. I have never seen a dwarf hamster chew this much. I mean, I'm really glad that I had a chew for him, and he seems happy. It was just really interesting. I was having a conversation with someone on Instagram about if hamsters need to chew, really, if they like actually need chews. This person felt, based on reading research, that hamsters don't really need to chew on anything, that they get natural chewing from their activities, from, you know, deshelling things, from chewing just their regular food. If you give them lab blocks actually are quite hard, and that can help file down their teeth. But I'm not sure I fully agree with this, because the research says that they get their natural chewing out by burrowing, and like, you know, right, they'd have to chew through a root, let's say, to make their full burrow. Well, hamsters in captivity aren't really doing that, right? I mean, they're just burrowing and paper bedding. So I don't think they're getting that full use of their teeth. So I do think chews are still important to at least have. But I can also say that, I mean, I have hamsters who basically don't chew at all and don't seem to have teeth problems. And the takeaway that this person was saying is that like chewing seems to be more like stress related, or just kind of like a personal preference or a hamster preference, that some hamsters seem to just enjoy it, but it might not be necessary for their teeth, but maybe necessary for their mental state. And I do kind of agree on that. Like when I see my hamsters chewing, often they drag their chew toy into like a cozy spot in a hide or in their sand bath and get to work, and they just look comfy, they look like they're relaxed, they're kind of sleepy. So I do sort of agree that chewing sometimes is sort of like a happy behavior. It's sort of like a comfort thing. And I'm happy that Fred is able to find that. So on the flip side, so there's Fred, and then I have Miles, the little robo. He at first was extremely shy. I didn't see him at all. And then after a few weeks, I started to see him more. Now that I have the platform, I'm seeing him spin. And that is a little bit concerning, obviously, more than a lot concerning. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Somebody texted me. It is a little bit concerning. I brought him to the vet last week, and it was very interesting. He, even in the little plastic container, he was kind of running in circles, pacing back and forth. The vet said, and this was an interesting approach, because I was thinking that his spinning, his pacing is because of stress, and I'm trying to not stress him, and I'm like, I don't want to change anything in his cage, keep it like it's like he's got a good wheel, he has enrichment, but I don't want to I wasn't sure what to do from here. The vet sort of took it as sort of more of an OCD thing, and she said she sees dogs with this issue, like they're chasing their tail, they're pacing, and she said in cases like that, what you want to do is interrupt their behavior. So she suggested that I make his cage more complicated and that I move things around a little bit more. So every couple of days, move the water, move the wheel, move this, move that. So that's what I've been doing. He is still pacing, but I have noticed there's significant periods where he's just sitting and nibbling or grooming. So those are all good signs. He is a white face robo, which apparently, I think they also call that a husky coloring. I've heard that spinning is more common in this type of hamster. So it might just be genetic. But yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to keep him happy. But otherwise his vet appointment went well and he's healthy. There's no other really, I had a hamster before, Sophia, a robo, this tiny little robo, and she clearly was having other issues. She was going blind in addition to spinning. She wasn't really always practicing healthy habits. It seemed like she would forget. She stopped eating normally. By the time she died, she basically only ate, and she started eating more soft foods. She would eat a cashew or a pecan or a cucumber. She stopped drinking water for some reason. I think it was a balance thing. She couldn't seem to balance. So I would just feed her cucumber. So she had a lot of health issues in addition to the spinning. The spinning was just kind of what tipped it off. In Miles' case, it doesn't feel like he has any other health issues. He's very healthy. No other loss of, something. And in fact, it's kind of cute. While he was in his little plastic thing kind of pacing, and the vet was looking at him, and he did really well, but then he started screaming. And I haven't heard a hamster scream in so long. It really took me back. It was very surprising. It's such a strange, crackly noise almost. If you've heard it, you know what I mean. Very strange. Anyway, since the vet appointment, I was afraid. He's a very nervous hamster. I was afraid it was going to be very stressful, but actually he did great. And now I see him out more. And I was even able to touch him a little bit as he was eating, and he didn't freak out. He kind of shivered oh, I don't want you to touch me. But he didn't run away. So it's funny how sometimes I feel like getting hamsters out of their comfort zone actually improves their, as long as you do it in a way that and then they're returned safely back home, I find that I actually see an improvement, which is why I'm really pro playpen, because even though your hamster might be a little stressed at first, I do think if you like practice bringing them back and forth, they slowly kind of open up and they seem to improve and get more brave. So that's what I'm seeing with him, and hopefully I can get him to the playpen soon. I haven't tried that yet because I was really worried about the pacing and I didn't know what was going on. So that's Miles. And then back to my original hamsters. I've got little Maurice. Maurice is my oldest hamster, I think, right now. I got him last year in February from Mel's Neighborhood Rodents. Mel picks up hamsters all around kind of the eastern half of the United States and delivers them. She does these drives all around. So if you're looking for a rescue hamster and you're on the eastern half of the United States, you can check her out. She is pretty active on Facebook. She has a group now, so you can join that and see what her route is. You can also surrender to her. So she'll take your hamster and then find it a home. And she's very successful with finding homes, which is great. So yeah, you can rest assured that your hamster will find a good home. Yeah, she's just like a really passionate person. It's really great. So that's where Maurice came from. He's starting to really show his age lately. He's been like losing a lot of weight. He used to be really chunky, and now he's losing a lot of weight. He's probably about a year and a half. Yeah, I would say he was probably born December 2022. So he's like not quite a year and a half. I feel like he lost a lot of weight, probably like 20 grams. He looks so small. He's able to get around. He runs on his wheel, but he is like picky with eating now. And I started feeding him baby food, and that's been successful. So I feed him Serendipity Kids. I feed him one like turkey and a vegetable, one every day, and he eats that. And I've just been trying to give him whatever I can. He really likes freeze-dried tofu, so I bought a bunch of that on Etsy, and I just sprinkled that in his cage today. And he loves nuts. You know, with my elderly hamsters, sometimes I just like give them whatever they want. Like, so I'm giving him pecans and walnuts and peanuts and whatever he will eat. I am happy to see him eating. So I actually think what I'm going to do soon is move him into this smaller wooden cage that I have. It came with 2 robos that I took in. The cage is about 450 square inches. Right now, Maurice is in the Vista size large, so it's like my largest cage. It's 900 and something square inches. So I'm going to move him into this smaller one. It's significantly smaller, but the thing is, I don't even see Maurice every day. Maybe I see him every couple days. It's been hard to keep up with making sure that he's eating. I don't always know where he's sleeping. He developed this like crusty eye also. So I have these eye drops I need to put in his eye, but like it's really hard to do because who knows where he is at any given moment, and he doesn't really come out if I'm around. Yeah, and just like seeing him lose so much weight is a bit worrying. So I'd like to see him in a smaller cage just so I can ensure that he has access to food. I don't know if he's not eating as much because he's just not always finding food for some reason. So I'm going to try that, see how it goes. And this is why I think it's always great to have different sizes of things, different size wheels, different size cages. As your hamsters move through their age, you know, they do go through these changes, and I think it's important to be prepared for whatever comes their way, or your way, actually. And it just makes it easier if you're already ready to go. If you already have that cage ready, if you already have the things, then all you have to do is just set it up. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get to work on that this weekend if I can. I might have a lot of work. Oh. Yeah, and then over to Stan. So Stan is my robo, my very shy robo that I was talking about. I put him in this in this cage. I got him in December. I put him in this Pro-Lee like 800 square inch cage that I had fully set up, and then he just like disappeared and I didn't see him again. From the start, I gave him the Night Angel wooden wheel, 11 inches, which normally I wouldn't give to a tiny little robo because they're kind of heavy, and often I feel like robos can like kind of fly off with them. And so he seemed to be doing fine with it, but I thought, you know what, maybe I'm going to switch his wheel to the Night Angel Dark Clouds wheel. Okay, for some reason, he will not run on this wheel. It is crazy. Like, he just didn't run for several days. I thought maybe the camera wasn't working. No, he just refused to run. So we're back to the wooden wheel, and he's running almost all night long. I think this is a great testament to like why it's good to have a bunch of different wheels around. You just don't know what your hamsters are going to like. So good to be prepared. And I recently got him out into the playpen so I could clean up his cage a little bit for the first time. And just like I hadn't really cleaned up his nest at all, so it was getting a little stinky. So I put him in the playpen. It was kind of difficult to trap him. He was very nervous because he hadn't come out of his cage yet. But now I feel like I even saw him out the other day while I was around. I mean, he very quickly went under, but again, I feel like sometimes forcing hamsters out of their comfort zone a little bit, as long as the result is that they have a safe and happy experience and not a scary one, So I put him in the playpen. It seemed like he was very comfortable in the playpen. I noticed that he groomed, he was exploring, he seemed happy. The only time he seemed nervous is when I approached, and then he got kind of freaked out. So it's clear that his fear is more of people and less of being in a space he doesn't know. Every hamster is different. But yeah, since I did that, he started coming out more. So like in the beginning, he would come out for an hour or two every night. Now he's out like all night long. So I'm really happy with that progress, and I'm hopeful that I'm going to keep working on him. He's a young little guy. I think he was born in October, so he's, only about 6 months old. So I've got a long ways to go with him, and you never know. Maybe he's gonna be my Steven and come out when I call him and enjoy being pet and just be a goofy little lovable thing. We will see. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on. That might be it. I had this whole long list of updates. I know. My final update is so February came and went, and then March came, and I was like, well, what do I do with the playpen now? So this month, and probably for a few months, or I don't know, we'll see how long it lasts, I have a spring playpen, so much more colorful, and this one was really fun. I got to dig out like a lot of things from my cupboard. If you don't have like a hamster specific item, I encourage you to look in your cupboard. Like I had a lot of fun and some cool little bowls that I use that were colored. I have these like flower bowls that I use sometimes I use them for me, sometimes I use them for my hamsters. But they look really cute in the springtime playpen. And my hamsters are enjoying it. And it gave me a reason. I actually ordered a whole new batch of sprays and flowers and sunflower heads I ordered some of it from Oakwood Forest Shop. That's based in the Netherlands. If you haven't shopped there, they make wonderful stuff. And then I think the sunflower heads, I'm not sure where I got those, somewhere on Etsy. And I also ordered 2 hides from a shop on Etsy, like I want to say it's like Tesla something, but it's not Tesla. It's like Tesla. I will do a whole post on my spring playpen, hopefully this weekend, so you guys can check it out. But I'm really happy with how it looks. It's so beautiful, and it's been so fun to take my hamsters in there and take photos of them and see them enjoy. So if you need any inspiration for your playpen setup, hopefully it helps. And I'm just, enjoying the season. Oh, I'm like, are there any other things? There is one other thing. This is really cute. So Dexter, he has a new favorite place to sleep. I put this like ceramic strawberry hide. I have a loose coconut soil in his cage, and I sprinkle seeds in there for him to dig through. And he likes it. And I decided to put a little hide in that coconut soil, this like little strawberry hide in there. And he started sleeping in it, which is funny. I've never had a hamster sleep in coconut soil. He's a funny hamster to begin with. And then what he started doing is gathering up paper bedding and then bringing it into the into the soil area. And he just like fills the ceramic hide with paper bedding and then sleeps in there. It's kind of adorable, and I love he's doing it right now. He's like sorting through all the paper and picking out the best parts and bringing it into his strawberry. It is like the cutest thing in the world. This is what I love about hamsters. They are just like always up to something. They're busy little things. I love setting up worlds for them and then watching them take it to the next level. I just think it's like a part of hamstering that I sort of didn't anticipate. I sort of thought like, oh, it's like a dog or a cat, but they live in a cage. I don't know. But it's actually much different, because I think like dogs and cats don't create their own worlds in this way. Like hamsters, it's like you create a world for them, and then they like really take it on themselves and they move stuff around. And, you know, I love watching them carry like big things all around. Like, I love it when they carry a chew, like they're whimsy all the way. It's really cute. If you can capture that on camera, it's such a golden moment. So yeah, really enjoying my hamsters as always. And I hope you guys are enjoying your springtime so far. If you have any updates to your playpens or your hamster worlds, please let me know. You can email me at rachelgothamsters@gmail.com. You can put a comment on my website. You can comment on the YouTube video. Lots of ways. You can leave me a message. Let me know what's going on. And if you've ever had a hamster who is kind of OCD like Miles, like pacing and spinning, I'd love to hear how you dealt with it. I'm just going to keep trying to give him enrichment and see if it helps. It probably won't fully go away, but I'm going to try to mitigate it the best I can, but I'd love to hear from you as well, see what you all have done. So hope to see you at my next episode, and thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.